where we left off. So the last section that we left off on yesterday is solving a right triangle. Solving a right triangle means finding all of the missing sides and all of the missing angles. All the missing sides, all the missing angles. So yesterday we did example number 1. So we'll go through the steps one more time with example number 1 before we do example number 2. So with example 1, first step you're supposed to do, identify what you are missing. Identify everything that you're missing. You're looking for where we're at? We're on the back page, section F. So identify what you are missing. So you were given a triangle. We didn't know side AC. We didn't know side CB. And we didn't know angle A. So list out what you are missing. Step 2 is to label the triangle. So whatever angle is given to you, you label the opposite, the hypotenuse, and the adjacent. That's step 2. Step 3 is to find missing angle. So the missing angle is the easiest thing to find. Add the 2 angles that they gave you, and then subtract it from 180. We're finding the missing angle. So, worst comes to worst. When you have your quiz next week, this coming weekend, when you have a problem like that, you should at least be able to get the 1 point for labeling the problem and the 2 points for finding the missing angle. So that's 3 out of 10. The rest of it comes from finding the missing sides, but you should at least be able to get 3 out of 10. That's the first 3 steps. The other 2 steps are finding the missing sides. So to find x, you pretend that y doesn't exist. You cover up y. You have an opposite and a hypotenuse. So the only trig function that would work is sine. Plug in your values, cross multiply, get to your answer. Then you find y. So to find y, you pretend that x doesn't exist. Cover up the x. Look at the 2 parts that you have left over. And use the right trig function. So again, everything that we've been doing the last couple weeks is now starting to build up. So if you either A, were struggling before, or B, just chose not to ask any questions, yeah, it's going to be a little difficult. That means you got to man up or woman up and ask the questions. Go back to the videos. The videos are made for you to go back to them. No disrespect, but it's not meant for me to reteach it to you if you haven't made the effort to try to do it something yourself. So now we're going to do example 2. We're going to follow the same 5 steps. If you have a question, we're adults. We ask questions. I'm 37 and I ask questions. You are 15, 16, 17, 18. You can ask questions. So, we good? We understand each other? About to get ready to get to work. We got calculators to do what we need to do. So let's do what we need to do. Example 2. Solve triangle ABC. So, the first step is to identify what's missing. Identify what's missing. So, what don't we know? What don't know? What are the three things we don't know? Huh? There are three things up there we don't know. Huh? Angle A. We don't know angle A. What else? We know angle B. That's angle B. What else do we know? There's two things we don't know. Look at the sides of the triangle. What don't we know? So, we don't know AB. What else don't we know? Carolyn, what else don't we know? Just use the two letters of name. AC. So, ID what's missing. What are the three things that are missing? There's the three things that are missing. So, two sides, we're going to make one of them X and one of them Y. And then missing angle, we're going to make Z. So those are the three things that we're missing. Those are the three things that we're missing. Did you write that down, Will? When I write, you write. Remember, I have to do this twice. You only have to do it once. Same thing at home. When I write, you write. Step 2 is the label. Step 2 is the label. So we always label based off of the angle that they gave us. They gave us 28 degrees. So across from the angle that they gave you, that is your opposite. Across from the right angle, that's your hypotenuse. So that means the side that's left over, that's your adjacent. Any questions before we continue? So we know what's missing, we label. Now we can start solving. Step 3, find the missing angle. So we find the missing angle. So we take the two angles that we have, add them up. All right, you two have calculators, add them up. What do you say? 118. So 90 plus 28 is 118. Now we take 180 and subtract 118. And you're close with 63. 62. 62 degrees is angle A. So there's our first answer. There's our first answer. Where's my highlighter at? Take the two angles that you have. Two angles that you have, add them up. And then subtract the answer from 180. Any questions before we continue? hearing any, not seeing any. I'm assuming we're good to go. That means that means you're gonna demonstrate it when you do your homework. You're gonna demonstrate it when you do your quiz this weekend. So step 4, find x. So to find x, we pretend that y doesn't exist. Just like we did in the other problem. Pretend that y doesn't exist. So, if we pretend that y doesn't exist, that means the opposite doesn't exist. You have an adjacent, you have a hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse, is that sine, cosine, or tangent? Cosine. You gotta stare over it. It's not over there. Your nose page right there. It's on the first page. Don't worry, Sterling. Your mom already told me how smart you are. You're gonna start showing it today. Same thing with you all at home. Your people have already told me how smart you all are. Stop acting less than what you are. Period. It's time to start applying maximum pressure. So, adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. So, take the angle that they gave you, plug it in. Your adjacent is 6. Your hypotenuse is x. Time to start cross multiplying. Take cosine 28. Put it over 1. Now we're going to cross multiply. Cosine of 28 gets multiplied times x. And 6 will get multiplied times 1. So cosine of 28, you can put that into the calculator. Cosine 28, put that into the calculator. So, that calculator. So, you put it in the calculator correctly, you should get 0.883 times x equals 6. So 0.883 is multiplying times x. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. Right. So 6 divided by 0.883 is 6.795. So, any questions on finding x? Still got to find y, but we got x. Any question on finding x? Will and Sterling, all okay? You got x? Got any questions? Separate this. So we can last part, find y. When we find y, y'all gonna have some time to work. So to find y, we pretend that x doesn't exist. So look, What do you mean X doesn't exist? Simple. Cover it up. So cover up X. So you got opposite and adjacent. So that's either sine, cosine, or tangent. Which one is it? Put this little acronym in here. You can't use whatever has an H in it, you can't use it. So I can't use so, that's opposite over hypotenuse. Can't use cot, that's adjacent over hypotenuse. So there's only one trig function that's left. Only one trig function that's left. What is it? Not that one, it's not that one. The only trig function that begins with the letter T. So, tangent. So, tangent of an angle equals opposite over adjacent. We got opposite over adjacent. So the angle is 28. Tan 28 equals y over 6. Tan 28 equals y over 6. Now we cross multiply. So if we cross multiply, tangent 28 times 6, y times 1. So just a little bit. So that's 6 times tangent 28 equals 1 times y. Tangent 28, we can put into the calculator. 0.532. 6 times 0.532 equals y. Say that again. So 3.192. So we got y, we got x, we got z, we got the other angle a long time ago. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finished with the problem. So there's all the parts of the problem. Steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, it is not a hard problem, but you are going to put in work. It's that simple. You have to put in work if you're going to be successful. You're going to put in work if you're going to be successful. You can't pass if you don't put in work. Any questions with example 2 before I give you an opportunity to put in work? Because we're going to put in work. Don't put in work. Any questions from the 2 gentlemen in the room? All right,